Hi everyone, so this is part of my presentation and we're going to pick up when we left off the history of how social work started and how it's relevant to this topic. So prior to the mid-1800s, there was not much attention given to children's rights. Parents were basically had a free range of how they wanted to raise their children, unless there were really severe cruelty behaviors, which could be taken to the court. Around 1853, was founded the New York Children's Aid Society, which a lot of us know it as Orphan Train, where they will remove poor children from their families in crowded cities and ship them off to rural areas for the belief of having a better living opportunities. By 1873, the society created the New York Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Children was created because of the case of Mary Ellen. She was getting abused by her mother then, and that sparked later on over 300 non-government child protection agencies. So at this time, federal haven't stepped into dealing with child care. In 1912, that's when the federal just jumped in and started the Children's Bureau, which established by the federal government, followed by the Shepherd Act, which provided federal funding for health services to mothers and babies. To continue, Social Security Act was established in 1835, which was a great support to poor families and providing aid to children and programs as far as the aids to families with dependent child was established, and due to the end era of slavery, a lot of black family was able to benefit, not as much as one expected. But regardless of all these organizations and policies that was put in place to protect children, African American was really not much in the system because of the end of slavery and segregation. So it wasn't until around the 1960s, around the civil rights movement, that brought more attention and the announcement of the laws that were placed that had a lot of racial content, such as interracial adoption wasn't permitted, stuff like that. So that removed that notion. 1974, Child Abuse Prevention and Treatment Act was passed to support and provide states in helping them to manage issues that dealt with child abuse and neglect. 1978, the Indian Child Welfare Act was passed to reduce the removal of American Indian children from their home and provide support within the tribes and the communities that they're known for, instead of taking them out of their communities. And Adoption Assistance and Child Welfare Act was passed in the 80s to help states make effort in avoiding removing children from parents or helping with reunification. It also provided financial support to adoptive parents who adopt children with special needs. Moving forward, in 1994, Congress will enact the Multi-Ethnic Placement Act that prohibited child welfare agencies to delay or deny an adoption plea because due to the child's race. CHIP was something also established in 1997 around, President Clinton to help poor families obtain health insurance for their children. Also under President Clinton was the Adoption and Safety Families Act, which moved to permanent housing children in foster care who have been in foster care for a long period of time. Many welfare reforms was done to help strengthen child welfare system, such as the personal responsibility and work opportunity, which support parents who was transitioning from welfare and working, and it helped them with child care. So some of the services that you can find to help social workers and agencies and the representation of diversity in child welfare. There is this advocacy called the Court Appointed Needed Advocate, where you can go on that website and find a plethora of local national programs that provides training when working with diversity and cultures that's different social workers, child welfare workers. And you can also see many states are passing laws that require child welfare systems to improve on the knowledge and the skills that they have when working with diversity. For example, Maryland established this program called the Child Welfare Academy that they partner with the social work school at University of Maryland and the Maryland DHS to help educate workers and helping with families, foster parents, children's, and just to give them a better understanding of, how to change some of their mindset with working with that population. Program as the Shafi Education and Training Grant Program that you can find in PA that helps high school students who are transitioning or who's aging out and wants to attend college, and they offer some of assistance so they can better improve their life and have opportunities so they don't repeat the same cycle, or they could be, success stories to others. We also have county assistance that provides food stamps, cash assistance, medical support for low-income families, so it can help diminish some of those risk factors that contribute to child maltreatment. So some of the interventions that social workers can use when working with children and families that might be in this system, or to eliminate some of the problems that we're facing. So on a micro level, to connect with a client on a micro level, it is imperative to establish a rapport. It's very important to have a rapport with the client to build trust and effective working and helping relationship. Practicing active listening and also the nonverbal communication cues that we tend to subconsciously do, like good eye contact, a warm smile, your body language can play a factor. On a meso level, when working with children in foster care, we want to engage families in treatment as much as possible, regardless if it's the foster or the birth parent, and an effective way to help denounce any ill feelings that may be portrayed by the family or the therapist can have towards the family is building on the strength of the family, looking at things that they have going for them, like positive factors, maybe resiliency, being able to bounce back, or having supports, friends, family, neighbors, or things like that. It's good to highlight on the positive aspects when helping to deal with a lot of issues. Social workers can also help use their own community as tools to find resources. A lot of times, families, as you can see, like family who doesn't know how to speak English or new to the country might not know where to obtain some of those things they need, whether it's food stamp, jobs, housing. So it's good to share our knowledge with them And when meeting expectation that's set from them from the course or other professions, they be able to know how to motivate themselves and go out in their own community and being able to find those supports. Also, clients usually have different areas and different teams that's helping them, whether it's the court system, school, IEPs, and other stuff like that. So it's good to collaborate with them, and so everyone can kind of be on the same page and kind of support the client, and to share stories or facts that we know that can benefit them in the court or benefit them, in therapy and school. So just working in a collaborative team. On a macro level, implementing partnership programs can also help with the disproportionality of children of color. For instance, the state of Texas Child Protection Service and family collaborate with the Cassie Family Program to help develop and implement effective measures in working with minority families to their workers and other agencies and organizations in that state. So these are two interventions from the California Evidence-Based Program that highlight on that can help with disproportionality. Family group decision making seeks to help and support, parents through kinship, so working with your family and friends and being the center or being the leader of implementing safety plans and the well-being of the child. Another one is the family assessment response. It targets families who have child maltreatment reported but doesn't really have a case or sexual abuse case, and it helps them to find programs and services to help them avoid future reports from child protective services. So in conclusion, the overrepresentation, and for some other groups, the underrepresentation in child welfare system is an important social and political issue that continues to need addressing. Unsurprisingly, to this day, race continues to play a part in services that are meant to empower and protect the poor. So as social workers, we do the service to children of color by providing and continue to provide inadequate service to them, and mixed with other factors that might play a part on how we see those minority groups. So poverty is a critical factor that contributes to environmental factor and parent and child interaction that might lead to child maltreatment. So as social workers, when working with minority families, it's important to engage in cultural humility, put aside our bias, our prejudgment, our lack of cultural knowledge of a group before meeting with them. Understanding our own values and what our own culture means to us can help build on being more mindful and competent when interacting with others that might share different views. Also, social workers should be aware of all the dynamics that affect families, such as lack of education, finance, or being new to this country could be a setback. At the same time, social workers should be able to continue to keep the safety of the child in mind, help implement effective interventions, building rapport, highlighting on strength and support of the family. Social workers should also develop a collaborative partnership with other agencies to help families maintain resources and find resources, continue to train and develop their skills. So this is just some references throughout my presentation. So I thank you all for taking the time to listen to my oral presentation. I hope you guys was able to learn something. So I'm looking forward to getting some feedbacks from you all. Thank you.